Okay, so let's talk about listing optimizations. We're going to be talking about different tips and things to avoid and listing builders using different kind of tools and what options they are actually available. So product listings should really kind of convince the customers like how it convince them when they see it in a physical store. But yeah, better. But the point is that people are not able to touch the products. So the basically only option for us is the different images and then using different texts in order to like get our message through about the products. So titles, and about, by the way, one thing to understand about this product listing is that, in that sense, it's kind of, you cannot really take everything as cast in stone, because many things actually everything always depends on what the competitors are doing. Because let's say that yeah, and with competitors we mean that usually like on the main keyword term, like you have your keywords, so you basically need to see that how are you going to position yourself amongst all these different competitors. So if they are doing one thing that actually works for them, then we should consider that then we need to do the same thing, but then we need to do that thing better. But then again, that if we see that if everything is doing the same, then we can actually do something else and then see that does it actually work better than it does for them. So one thing to always keep in mind with product listings is that it needs these different kinds of experiments to see that what works and what doesn't work. And one thing, especially like when you've been selling for years and years, then you kind of it just happens naturally that you kind of forget to work on your old listings anymore. So it happens that when you launch new products all the time, then your focus goes there, and then you kind of abandon your old product listings, even if like in many cases that's going to be the majority of the revenue, right? Which doesn't really make sense. So the point is that when like we need to, like, the product listing is our real estate inside of Amazon, and we have to keep like good care of our product listings in order to make sure that we get sales in future as well. So as a general rule, like, and one thing to take into consideration is that it might depend, it might be different in different categories and different in different products. But in general, you could say that, titles, easy to read, have the main features, include different model size or color and main benefits. And like, ideally, you could have different kind of uses or customer needs. But then, like I mentioned, even this advice, it kind of doesn't make sense for all the different products in the world, because in some cases there might be just one use case, one use for the product in question. So main thing to always consider, like when you start doing your product listing, is that, okay, what are the competitors are doing, and should I actually be doing the same thing? Should I be doing different thing? Like minimum, we have to do at least as good as they are doing it. So that's kind of like the bare minimum to consider. And one thing is that, this has actually been already for many years, that we don't need to like do keyword stuffing really anymore. This thing has been going up and down. Like sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't do it, but most of the time it doesn't. Like nowadays, it's more about focusing on like finding the best keywords and really focusing more on them instead of like trying to please million different keywords. Then bullet points, different kind of specific benefits, what kind of impact it will have on people's lives, using numbers and data to showcase this different kind of value, and in some cases also like reminding them to, add to the cart or buy now. Then the different kind of description is to address like common pain points, showcase solutions, highlight unique features, benefits, differentiate from competitors, but not really do it in such a way that you force these keywords into your sentences. And actually one thing to really understand nowadays is like before, when we had like if you really wanted to like create product listing in terms of copywriting, then personally I wasn't a copywriter. Victor wasn't a copywriter either, so the only way for us was to get like in order for us to get like good copywriting was to, okay, now we just need to hire a copywriter who's gonna do it on our behalf. But nowadays it's completely different. We are able to use so many different tools that actually just generate the copywriting on our behalf. But especially with tools like ChatGPT, the output totally depends on the input, meaning that the less we give, meaning that if we give crappy input, then we are going to be getting crappy output as well. But at least you are able to get started with something, so you don't need to start from a totally blank piece of paper. And plus is that even if you have never done these kind of product listings, and even if your English is not your native language, then you're still able to come up with a product listing with pretty much like in minutes with like minimal effort. Then with main images, that's the number one image and most important image. One thing to consider is that like how do customers actually see it? Like what's the first touch point that the customers actually have? And typically they are not going to see our product listing first. They're not going to see, the large version of the image initially. No. They are just only going to be seeing the thumbnail. So this is why we totally like have to put a lot of effort into optimizing our image in such a way that it still stands out and you can still see what it is, like even from a small thumbnail. And then we also need to comply with Amazon requirements, and especially like in terms of like advertising, and in some cases we can actually add a lot of addition in like, for example, what it includes, what's inside the box, what's the quantity, and so on, and actually showing the box. And when you saw the packaging, there's so many ways how you can actually get creative. Like typically, you're not allowed to add any kind of words here, meaning that you show something that is not really part of the product or the packaging, which meant that then we started getting kind of like creative with it. That, for example, we added some labels to the packaging that said like free this or free that, or then we added also this kind of directly on the product design that it says something that makes it really stand out from all the different competitors in that search term. And in terms of image gallery, simple, short, large text, lifestyles, pictures, different colors, features, benefits, and different comparisons, and how to use guides if it makes sense, and basically utilizing all the available source for the media and not being too crowded. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that these examples here are good, but at least it kind of the thing on when selling something online is that the attention span is so short. So when people browse on Amazon inside the app, then they need to be able to figure out already within a few seconds that hey, what is this product and what's the benefit and how do I use it and why should I actually buy it? And that really needs to happen within seconds. And sometimes, like when we get idea for a good product opportunity, which is not already sold on Amazon, like we have like suppliers telling us that hey, I mean, they have this cool new product and it does and this, and then we try it out and think that hey, actually this is really cool, but then we bump into the problem that how do we actually explain this in one image, like why this is so good? And oftentimes it's a bit difficult, and then if you're not able to do that, then it's not going to work out. It's going to be just too difficult in building the initial interest and explaining people, because then you need to educate people, and it can be a really bumpy ride. But also, that being said, it's also a good idea to consider our product listings as a way how we educate our viewers, our audience, meaning that okay, so it's kind of like the same way that we can consider that okay, we have a store, physical store, and someone walks in, and then we ask them that hey, what are you looking for? Then they say that okay, they are looking for this kind of tool. Then we actually take the time to explain, okay, so you're looking for this kind of tool, so do you already have like experience? Have you already made some comparisons? And if they say no, I know nothing about this, I just have this need, then then we would go to explain them. Well, I mean, if you are looking to buy something, then here's actually good information that you would need to know. Like there are different types for different kinds of usages. So if you need this, then you should consider that the material here, or you should consider the comfortability or so many different things. So that's
I still don't understand what this product is here. There's a nail clippers, but maybe did you pick this example? The example
no, I didn't.
The opposite of good. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't. It kind of.
Hopefully, it's for people who have babies. Otherwise, it'd be kind of creepy in the first image anyway. It's
like a multi-device. Oh, it has a light. Oh, it has like.
That looks like the baby's
toenail clipper.
Auto light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has.
The layout is minimalist. I get the point. If you were to glance through that, then what is this? But like, they say people don't read these days; they scan.
Exactly. People don't read.
I mean, even myself, sometimes when I buy something, I couldn't give a rat's ass about the oftentimes I know what I'm looking for, right? But even still, I don't bother really much about looking or reading the text. Just scan through them. Often not even like the reviews per se, for as long as it's not totally like only negative, right?
Yeah, and especially like when we're talking about impulse purchases, like less than $50 or less, then oftentimes, I mean, people don't spend that much time on research. They realize that okay, I need to get this, so they just search on Amazon and see, oh well, there's this and that option, and then just buy it instead of like if the product costs thousands of dollars, then obviously people are going to put a lot more effort into research and thinking that is this exactly what I want, and so on. Yes.
Yeah, it's more about the emotions. Those images convey more than the information, depending on the product, of course.
Yes, and one thing, actually, number one thing do nowadays with with the added features that we have on Amazon is that you need to make sure that everything is like mobile, not mobile responsive, but still in that sense that everything looks good on mobile. And